stations on KERA. This is a national emergency. Important guidelines will follow. The following message has been transmitted by request from Union Pacific and Grand Trunk Western employees. At 12 a.m. Central Daylight Time, extremely distraughtly alarming calls to 911 were made when two freight trains suffered a fiery head-on collision. Union Pacific locomotives 956, 3532, and 9716 were completely destroyed in the wreckage and are being scrapped at the crash site. Fire warnings have been sent by request of the Bomber Fire Rescue and Texas Public Safety. Stay tuned for further updates. The National Weather Service in Bomber, Texas, has issued a red flag warning for the entire northeastern portion of Texas until 7:50 p.m. Central Standard Time. At 12:15 a.m. Central Daylight Time, National Weather Service indicated a mushroom cloud of flames shoot 5,000 feet into the air. This firestorm was located around the San Antonio and Houston area, and is getting much worse. The National Guard has determined the area will be forced to evacuate for the citizens' own safety. Bring food, water, supplies, and both AM and FM radios. Tune to 1240 AM and 1240 FM on your radio dials for later statements on this developing story. Take or cover now. Civil danger continues for the Bomber, Texas areas. The following message has been transmitted by request from Operation Lifesaver, the NTSB, and the Texas Department for Public Safety. A geyser of flames shot 5,000 plus feet into the air. Hazardous materials were confirmed to be detected at the crash site. Most of them considered explosives, flammable liquids and solids, oxidizing and peroxiding agents, infectious chemicals, and corrosive materials. Anyone within a 250-mile area are advised to remain away from the area until further notice. Stay tuned for further updates. Shelter-in-place warning for the entire northeast portion of Texas. The following message has been transmitted by request of the NTBS and the Texas Department for Public Safety. The NEST has alerted fire rescue to evacuate the area due to explosive materials on board both freight trains. It was also confirmed no dangerous when wet material was detected in either freight train. The chance for a boiling liquid, evaporated vapor explosion, and a non-electromagnetic pulse can be imminently possible. Although no fallout will be exposed after the explosion, it is advised to head to a shelter for safety. Take cover now. We interrupt your news programming on KERA. This is a national emergency. Important guidelines will follow. This message has been transmitted by request from the Nuclear Emergency Search Team. At around 2:10 a.m. Central Daylight Time, an explosion has rocked the area of Bomber, Texas. Although no fallout is present, you must remain in your shelters for your own safety. Tune to KERA for later statements on media outlets and 1240 FM and 640 FM on your radio dials for additional coverage. Message will continue in 10 minutes. Please stand by for this audio portion of this message. The following message has been transmitted by request from the Texas Department for Public Safety, the NTSB, and the Nuclear Emergency Search Team. At around 3:40 a.m. Central Daylight Time, fire rescue personnel have been given access to extinguish the flames. All aerial firefighting equipment is unlimited. Calling all aerial firefighting equipment. A fire is still erupting in your area. Tune to KERA on your outlets and 1240 FM and 640 FM on your radio dials for later statements. If possible, tune to 7:50 a.m. on your radio dial for critical updates from the NTSB. Stay tuned for further updates on your radio as the story develops. Urgent bulletin: both engineers were confirmed to being killed in the disaster. Also, a conductor was critically injured and is being taken to an intensive care unit for observation. Locomotives 9040, 9658, and 7804 suffered minor damages and are being sent to the shops for rebuilding. The cause of the wreck is currently being investigated at this time. Tune to 7:50 a.m. or 16:40 a.m. on your radio dials for later coverage of this heartbreakingly developing story. Stay tuned for further updates. Message will continue in 10 minutes. Telephone outage warning. The following message has been transmitted by request of the Texas Department for Public Safety, the Federal Bureau Investigation, and the Federal Protective Service. At around 4:20 a.m. Central Daylight Time, power lines to the 911 emergency center was heavily damaged and all computer internet systems are shut down until further notice. Sheet metal from the explosion earlier were confirmed to cause this telephone outage. Please avoid calling 911 unless you are in need of critical medical attention. If you need intensive care, dial 0 for your telephone operator. Again, all 911 calls are disconnected and out of service until further notice. Take cover now. The National Weather Service in Bomber, Texas, has issued a heavy thunderstorm warning for the entire northeast portion of Texas until 12:44 p.m. Central Standard Time. At around 4:52 a.m. Central Daylight Time, National Weather indicated severe thunderstorms with minor flooding and storms around 30 miles per hour. This storm was located west away from Yukon, Oklahoma, and moving towards the Houston area. Avoid driving at all times. Use chains on tires to prevent skidding, and don't hit brakes during skidding. It will cause your vehicle to capsize and cause fatal damages. Again, the NWS has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for northeast Texas until 12:44 p.m. Central Standard Time. Stay indoors when you can do so safely. Repeating again, the National Weather Service has issued a severe thunderstorm warning in effect till 12:44 p.m. KCST. Repeating again, use chains on tires to improve traction. Also allow yourself 4 times your stopping distance, stay in your homes, and do not hit your brakes during a skid. It will cause your vehicle to lock up and capsize with fatal damages. Again, stay in your homes when you can do so safely. Also, locations that may be impacted within the next 10 to 15 minutes are as followed: Cleveland, Caldwell, Brenham, Wharton, Sugarland, Galveston, Bay City, Bomber, Houston, Conroe, Huntsville, College Station, Pearland, Lake Jackson, Angleton, Denton, Beaumont, Ellington Field, and San Antonio. Anyone in these areas again are advised to remain in your homes and/or shelters, and follow instructions from the National Weather Service. Repeating again, call in advance at 1-281-337-5074. Again, 1-281-337-5074. Call this number when you can do so safely. We are sorry to interrupt your stations on KERA. This is an emergency update from the NTSB. The investigation is nearing completion as dispatch errors and sleep deprivation were the causes of the wreck at Bomber. Also, all 911 lines are back in service. Damages are $1.6 million. Stay tuned for further updates on your 7:50 a.m. radio for continuing updates to this developing story. Again, sleep deprivation and dispatch errors were confirmed as the causes to this crash. The all clears have not yet been given, so stay calm. Stay tuned for further updates. We interrupt your news programming. This is a national emergency. Important instructions will follow. This message has been transmitted by request from the NTSB and Operation Lifesaver. All clears from the entire northeast portion of Texas have been given. It is now safe to return to your homes. We thank you for your amazing cooperation during this urgent emergency. We will return to KERA for normal stations and programming.